Um, my name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I'm continuing this on the third take. They use psychological warfare on me. Now, I'm the actual monarch, the British monarch, kidnapped. I'm a hostage here, my kids. This is back in 62, Hammond Miller. Psychotic, I want to show this. Well, anyway. Yeah, well, I've told everybody. Um, so I'll continue. This was done to me. Can you imagine uh, trying to take care of your sons and have a relationship when they're little, being put on psychotic drugs, being your brain bashed with electrodes, and the doctor's having fun with it. Miller, I can think back now of comments he made. He knew about my kidnapping, my real name, and he's Jewish. His wife was a German Jew, and the anesthesiologist, Dr. Berg, was Jewish. So they had a blast with me. They really did. And then you've got, in about 86, I guess, I called out at Redstone Arsenal Army because there was a new psychiatrist came there called Victor Gonzalez. He had actually been at Parkland when John Kennedy had been brought in to Parkland. Later, a few years later, he moves ahead of my husband and me, and he becomes a psychiatrist at Parkwood. They're all part of the same corporation, mental health. Well, in all of this, you get psychological warfare out of it, is what happens. Um, so I called him, and he said he was a child psychiatrist. Later, I really had forgotten it, or it was wiped out of my memory. I was working at the health spa. It's one of the first ones that, the big ones when it was separate men and women days and lady days, and I was manager of the ladies. Um, I remember him coming in with his wife, and I remember he couldn't speak. Well, he spoke English, but not that great. He really had an accent. She could speak no English, and I remember her very well. She just had a baby, and it irritated me because he came in with her and he controlled her. He walked around with her. Then he made comments on my hairstyle and things, and I thought, I really don't like him. He paid cash for, I think, a 3 month. I'm not sure. But she didn't come back. She may have come back one more time, and he was with her, I remember. So they did come back twice. He wanted me to show her a hairstyle like mine, and actually, well, you can't tell it. Anyway, there was a beauty salon next door, so I referred them there. Okay, I don't see her anymore, and she's supposed to be from Honduras. I just had the baby. That's why he came and signed her up. So now I walk out of the health spa going up to eat at night about 6 o'clock, which I did every night on my break. And he's parked in the front of Cosmopolitan Health Spa out at Whitesburg Lane Drive in Huntsville. And he's there waiting on it. He asks me to get in the car with him. And I quite frankly tell him to go to hell. And I walk off on down. I couldn't believe he'd showed up, and I hadn't seen his wife. Okay, I forgot about that, or it's wiped out of my memory because they've done a little bit of everything to me. But later, my husband goes to work for Lockheed. He does contracting, and I know now he worked for the CIA. I didn't then. And he takes me to the man, Victor Gonzalez. He's at Lenox Towers, Twin Towers, in Atlanta, and my husband actually takes me to him. So for 7 years, my brain is basted again with, and I'm not going to get into all of it because it's hideous what was done to me and what was done to my sons, Mark and Scott. There was a gag order. I sued. My attorney was a former Fulton County, Atlanta district attorney, uh, Eugene Kaiser, and I think Kaiser did what he could, which no one else, hardly anybody else has done. But anyway, there was a seal put on it, and now then I find out later that they were bogus diagnosis. He picked up on the same diagnosis and the same psychotic drugs, and based in my brain, um, it was hideous. There's 7 more years of it, and there's a gag order put on it. Now then, I find out that I was never, that was a wrong diagnosis. I'm chemical sensitive, allergic to chemicals, and it's autoimmune. Um, Disorder, and when I get around chemicals, it makes my immune system attack itself. That's all I. That's bad. That can be bad to your system. It has nothing to do with mental illness. Um, Now this happens to be from that doctor, but this is um, so there's no treatment for that if you're force fed it. But it can affect how you feel, obviously, and if you are forced to inhale, um, you really can't tell my life. It's so awful what's been allowed to happen. The law enforcement, the people involved. It's been a joke to them the way the Americans reacted to it all. Um, but anyway, it makes your immune system attack itself, and if you're force-fed it, made to live, it's hard to keep moving to another place, especially when your jobs were shut down and you're begging to live um, and have no money hardly. Uh, your immune system attacks itself, and it ends up your kidneys, your liver, your lungs. It's been hideous, and I've told some of this on prior tapes. But psychological and chemical warfare were used against me, and there's no way I can tell. I was actually in 1979, after getting the letter from the U.S. Attorney about the ongoing investigation, and I thought it was because of the book I'd done. I didn't know until '83 my real name and why it was really happening, the torture and all of it, ongoing hell. I'd gotten the letter in '79. April the 1st of '80, I get filled full of antifreeze, and I'm tossed. I go to emergency room at West Paces Ferry because I knew I was a goner. I went there for a tox screen to try to see what was given me so I could neutralize it. I went there, and instead a doctor from that's not even supposed to be on the staff there, they told me back then, was waiting on me. It's like they had it planned. They did. And I was locked up illegally, couldn't get out, given Halidol, a psychotic drug that, man, when these medicines are fed to you, they're not medicines anymore, they're poison. My husband or ex-husband, who had come to live with us because so much was being done to the boys and me, and I had gone to Laurelwood Apartments. At that time, I'd moved from Moonraker in '79, and I went to them, took my ex-husband and told them to make sure it was okay that he just come back to stay for a short period of time because I had done the book and there were things happening to my son's car, sugar put in the lifter and all this. So they were always aware of, was, I did the lease, it was my security deposit, got the letter from the FBI, June the 23rd, '79, '80, April Fool Day, I get full of antifreeze and should have died. I had gone to try to Texas to try to live with my ex-husband's sister a couple of weeks or more, trying to find a job, and she was going to try to help me. And if I found a job, I was going to get